How's it going, guys? Today I want to look at the LA Kings Ottawa Senators trade that went down a couple days ago. The Sens trading Phaneuf to the Kings in exchange for Gaborik. Also, there were a couple other players involved. This trade did happen a couple days ago, but I was actually on vacation for the past week and a half, so I didn't have a chance to make this video until now. I figured I would see what happens in game. I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts on it. Hopefully, it's like the first domino in a bunch of trades that are about to happen in the NHL. Obviously, the deadline's like a couple weeks away now. Really looking forward to that. I think it might be one of the most active in a lot of years. So, Nick Stroh was the other player involved on LA's side, just like a bottom six center. Nothing crazy. And then, of course, Marian Gaborik here. Not quite the Gaborik of old. As you can see here, 35 years old, 79 overall. He's considered a third-line scoring forward, top 9 forward potential there. And he's making $4.8 million for the next 4 years, which is super expensive for a 79 overall player. Short here, he's 78, so 1 overall below, 24, so much younger, medium top 9 there, also third line forward, and he's only making $925K for the next year. So I feel like as soon as LA gave Gaborik that deal after winning the Cup, everyone knew it was going to be bad in the future, and it turned out to be bad like a year later. So they're getting out from under that contract, but they're taking back Phaneuf's contract, which is arguably worse, but they're going to have Ottawa retaining. As you can see here, Phaneuf's actually on the block for Ottawa. 32-year-old, 82 overall defenseman. He's got top 4D potential there. Still, you know, pretty decent defenseman. He's probably the best player of the 4 that got traded. His role here is a top 4. I don't know if he's a top 4. I'd say he's like, he's maybe a top 4. I'd say he's like a 4 to a 6. Then as you can see there, big salary, $7 million for the next 4 years. We're adding him to the trade along with Nate Thompson, who doesn't have too much value in this game. I think his overall is actually a lot lower than it probably should be. Looking for him here. As you can see, he's also on the block. 32 years old, 74 overall. Exact bottom 6. Role there, 4th line forward. And for a 4th line, 74 overall. He's pretty overpaid, $1.6 million for 2 years. So even with retaining 25% on Phaneuf, $1.75 million to be exact, Ottawa still does save a bit of money here. I think they actually save a lot more money in terms of real money, like dollars being spent, than the actual cap, which obviously they're kind of a budget team. They're more concerned with that. So right here, guys, is the trade from LA's side. You got Shore and Gaborik there for Phaneuf with 25% retained, and Nate Thompson. The value is way on Ottawa's side, so I doubt they accept this trade. And yeah, they don't accept it. So we'll try it now from Ottawa's perspective. I have a feeling it'll probably go through. Let's find out. Alright, guys, we're now going to try this trade from Ottawa's perspective. As you can see, we still have them retaining 25% there on Phaneuf. Value is way on their side. LA actually wants Thompson for some reason, so I'm sure this will go through. And it does. So there you go. According to EA, LA won this trade. And if I had to pick a winner, I'd probably go LA as well. Really, I think it's a pretty even trade, but I think Phaneuf will do more to help LA than Gaborik would have. And the other 2 players are basically a wash. And as you can see here, obviously, LA is a contender right now. Ottawa's a rebuilder. And I feel like Phaneuf or Gaborik really doesn't matter who Ottawa has in terms of rebuilding. This trade actually might help them even like finish lower in the standings, have a better shot at winning the lottery, landing one of the top 3 in Dallin, Svechnikov, or Zadina. And then the other 2 players, like I said, basically a wash. So a pretty strange trade, but I think it'll be one that works out for both teams. And while I was editing this video, guys, a couple more trades just went down. One involving Ottawa getting Polka, and then another, the Leafs trading Svechnikov for a 4th. So I figured we'll quickly go look at those trades in NHL 18 just to see what would happen. So right here, guys, the other trade that Ottawa made, acquiring Polka from the Blackhawks for DiDomenico, who really isn't much of a player, 75 overall, 28 years old. As you can see there, role 4th line forward, potential bottom 6, making $650K for 1 more year. He's kind of like an AHL bubble player, sometimes gets called up. And then you got Polka here, who in this game is very good. 23, 74 overall, medium top 4D potential. Usually will max out like an 83, 84 overall. Role right now, of course, minor top 2. Also making $650K here for 1 more year. But in real life, he's more of just like an AHL defenseman, really never broke into the NHL. So I guess with this trade, the Blackhawks are finally giving up on him. But honestly, I think this is a huge steal for Ottawa. Even though he isn't as good as EA would suggest, he still has a lot more upside than DiDomenico. And obviously, with trading Phaneuf, Ottawa could use, you know, a defensive prospect who maybe can become even just a bottom pair guy for them in the NHL, where DiDomenico, you kind of know what you're getting. You can sign guys like that in free agency all the time. So obviously, Ottawa will say yes to this. Polka's value is so much more than DiDomenico. And yeah, there you go. In this game, an absolute fleece by Ottawa. In real life, I don't think it's as big of a fleece job, but I do still think Ottawa wins this trade. And here you guys look at the Maple Leafs deal, trading Svechnikov to the Blues for a 2019 4th. So kind of works out here. As you can see, the Blues have the 4th on the trade block, and they want Svechnikov, who obviously is a pretty solid player. Kind of got stuck in the AHL with the Leafs. or scratched in the NHL. 23 years old, 75 overall, high top 9. So similar to Polka, I think, except with a bit more upside and a bit more proven ability in the NHL. Role there, 4th line forward, $740K for 1 year. And I think the Leafs kind of got stuck with him. They either had to trade him, put him on waivers, or they would have to scratch somebody else to keep him, and then obviously if they scratched someone else, that would have messed up somebody else's kind of contract situation. So they were pretty much forced to trade him, in which case the St. Louis Blues 4th was probably the best offer. Also, they probably wanted to trade him to a Western Conference team, so they didn't have to like run into him as much. And I think the 4th's pretty decent. Obviously, ideally, you'd want a 3rd round pick, but considering they had no other option, a 4th is still pretty solid. And as you can see here in game, it has Soshnikov being valued a bit more, but due to the circumstance, I think the 4th round pick is a very fair trade. I think it works out for both teams. I guess the slight winner here would be St. Louis just because they get the player. As you never know what that 4th round pick is going to turn into, but with Soshnikov, you do have that proven commodity. But that is it, guys, for the trades. Also want to mention all these trades were done on hard trade difficulty. Even though it didn't really matter, most of them you could kind of see who the clear winner was and who the clear loser was. Hopefully we get some more trades going. Really no big blockbuster trade yet. I'd love to see Evander Kane, Mike Green, one of those big name players trade in the next couple weeks, and obviously if it happens, I'll be sure to make a video on it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, leave that thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.